Ladies and gentlemen, there are about 1,600 or so bars in Los Angeles, 1,644 bars. There are around 26,000 restaurants in Los Angeles. I'm going to read you Mayor Eric Garcetti, the wonderful Democratic mayor, because I live in a Democratic machine in Los Angeles. And the Democrats are such wonderful people. They're so smart that they didn't look into the future and say, hey, there's this infectious issue, fake apocalypse, starting in another country. It might hit us. No. They're going to go ahead and make sure that people lose their jobs. So I'm going to read you this. Mayor Eric Garcetti, I'm taking executive action to help prevent the spread, in Los Angeles City by closing bars, nightclubs, restaurants, except takeout delivery, and then entertainment venues and gyms until March 31st, unless extended. Grocery stores will remain open. Gee, thanks. I don't have to have a victory garden in the backyard? Okay, that was Mayor Eric Garcetti. And if you look at Gavin Newsom, or you listen to him, Gavin Newsom asks California bars to close, tells older residents to isolate due to, Number one, you should have, if you're so worried. See, I don't buy the whole nonsense that, we have to, if you're a private business, and this is the difference between Democrats and even Bernie Sanders and the socialists and wonderful, amazing liberals on Twitter. They're like, oh my God, this is serious. This is really serious. Well, where were you 3 months ago when it was taking place? Oh no, you were obsessing over Trump, right? So now you're the sage, wise voice of reason. You spent your entire lives every day for the past 4 or 5 months focusing on Trump's personality and his hair. And then now you want to close down restaurants because you failed to realize that this could be a serious issue or an issue that could perhaps be cataclysmic. First of all, it's not going to be, but anyway, I'm not going to get into a discussion about what my thoughts are. We've reached peak irrational behavior long ago with the Steele dossier, blaming, trying to frame Trump, saying that he worked with Russia, which is the most absurd, nonsensical thing. We found out it was all nonsense anyway. Democrats have lost their ability to reason. They've lost line. And then everything is science, except some things aren't science, but everything is science. Again, if they cared about science, they would have realized what was taking place. Notice I'm not saying certain words because I want this to be monetized, but whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Los Angeles right now, multiply. Let's be conservative. Let's say there are 5 servers for 26,000 restaurants. 5 waiters or waitresses. Conservative. That's a conservative. That's 100,000 people. Let's say conservative, 5 people working at a bar. That's actually really conservative, but that's 5,000 people right there. I mean, there's more than 5,000 people working at bars. And there's more than 100,000 waiters and waitresses in LA County restaurants and cooks and everything. But what do you think's going to happen? They asked Eric Garcetti this, and he said, well, we're a great city. He couldn't guarantee that people wouldn't lose their jobs. These are oftentimes workers and working class people and people who are struggling to make a paycheck. These are the bartenders that AOC champions, and God bless them. And God bless all the people affected now. Los Angeles has now condemned and has now basically relegated these people to perhaps not only losing their jobs, but their homes, their houses, their lifestyle. their source of income. Because if you get fired, if you get let go from a bar or a restaurant, where are you going to go now? You're going to go to another restaurant or bar. But they're not hiring in the next 2 weeks. Because guess what? The mayor and Gavin Newsom said that, we're going to only takeout. And then, Gavin Newsom said something different. So, this is Eric Garcetti. I'm taking the executive action to help prevent the spread, closing bars, nightclubs, restaurants, except for takeout and delivery. So you're not going to need... So, these people are not going to get tips, and they're not going to get a paycheck. You cannot force a business when the apocalypse hasn't reached. This is fake apocalypse. You cannot force a business to close down. This is essentially what Los Angeles is doing. You're forcing a business to close down. This is not constitutional, and this is a complete lack of awareness in terms of, yes, I understand the reasoning, but people are taking precautions already. Okay? There's nobody going to restaurants now. There's nobody going to bars now. For the 1 or 2 or 10 or 5 people going to a restaurant in a day, at least give the owners the reason to keep their employees, Mayor Garcetti and Governor Newsom. At least give these business owners a reason to stay in business. There are going to be bars. There are a lot of bars that are just going to go bankrupt. And it's not like you're going to, telling older Americans, older people in Los Angeles not to go out, I kind of understand that, but it's like they already know this. People already know this. If you want to close gyms for 2 weeks, I kind of get that. But it's not like you're still going to pay your membership. So that's like, you're not, the movie theaters, I guess, I get, but the movie theaters are still going to be in business. You are literally relegating, well over 100,000 people around Los Angeles to perhaps going on unemployment or losing or being homeless. There are going to be people who are literally going to be one step from being homeless because of what's taking place. What Garcetti and Gavin Newsom have done is that they have, in the hysteria, taking steps to ensure that people are safe is one thing. Forcing businesses to go bankrupt, which is essentially what this is nothing more than that. I'm not even a bar owner. I don't even go to bars anymore. I don't go to restaurants, yes. But very rarely will I go to a bar. But if you're younger, you might go to a bar. Nowadays, horrible. This is not a good time to be a young person. But let's just say that you wanted to, in the next week or so, go to a bar, or have a glass of wine, or have a drink, or whatever. Now these places are going to lay off employees. And now these employees are going to go on public assistance. And that is going to be, and then the lack of economic activity is going to hurt Los Angeles in more ways than one, and California in more ways than one. And you're not assured of preventing the spread of infectious issues. You're not assured of that, but it's I don't know. This situation, you got to understand, if you're I've never been a waiter. I've never worked in a restaurant. I've never worked in a bar. I can only tell you that I do understand some basic, tenets of capitalism and of business. I do understand there's a ripple effect. You force restaurants to close down only for takeout. There's 26,000 restaurants in LA County by one estimate. 26,000 restaurants. Now, are all of these going to be closed? I don't know. It's Mayor Garcetti said, closing bars except for restaurants except for takeout and delivery. Gavin Newsom said, in California, restaurants, but you can still dine in. So I don't know. Who knows? But this is absurd. So you failed to look into, 3 months into the future. And now because of your failures, you're forcing private businesses to shut down for 2 weeks until further notice. So March 31st and possibly beyond. People are going to be laid off next week. You haven't, interestingly enough, what a cowardly, disingenuous, insidious proclamation. These are the Democrats that say, "Well, government has to do this and that." You didn't ensure. Also, we have to ensure this and that. You didn't ensure that people wouldn't be laid off, right? Where is the assurance that people wouldn't be laid off? Where is the assurance that I thought you wanted paid government sick leave and paid leave because of all of this? Where's the assurance that restaurant workers, because it's not just the waiters and waitresses, it's people other people who work, the chefs, the people who wait, other people who wait on the tables, clean the tables, food manufacturers, food retailers, wholesale, food distributors, I should say. I mean, you've crushed a huge part of the Los Angeles economy. For what? Because you want to stop. Okay, but then because this is a failure of politicians. This is a failure of politicians to say, okay, this could come to us. They should have had warnings or some kind of public service announcement 3 months ago, so we wouldn't have to take these drastic steps where people are going and they're like stockpiling toilet paper. But suddenly it's, oh my God, science. And a lot of this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to get into this. But you better believe if it was a Democrat in the White House, people would be a lot more calm. But anyway, give me your thoughts below. This is unbelievable. People are going to lose their jobs now. This is despicable. And if you're working in Los Angeles, God bless you. You're working in a restaurant, you're working at a bar, and you're going to be laid off, or you're going to lose your job or lose your source of income because of this. I live in a democratic machine. I understand there are certain things you have to do as a society, but you cannot force businesses to shut down. Because people already aren't taking risks. You can't take that added step to force businesses to shut down, because then you are actually creating more problems economically. There are people who are living paycheck to paycheck who work at restaurants and bars, who if in the next 2 weeks they don't get a paycheck, could be homeless. And Mayor Garcetti and Gavin Newsom have just been like, oh, well, you know what, we're a great city, so it's okay. Or we're a great state, and that's okay. Give me your thoughts below. For all the people who are negatively impacted by this economically, God bless you. And you know what? It's like, I don't know what to say other than, this is not, I don't even think it's constitutional. You can't force a business to shut down when you have no scientific data that business that particular business would lead to some kind of horrible scenario. Especially when business is already down. So it's not like these places are packed anyway. The same political party that prides itself on being so moral and just has just condemned thousands of people to losing, in some cases, everything. Give me your thoughts below. I think it's absolutely disgusting what's taking place. Give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Thank you very much.